Hello everyone, hope all of you are in pink of health and safe. As you can see it on the screen, today we are going to discuss about a scheme which has created a lot of fuss, a lot of agitation within the nation, and that is Agneepath Scheme. So without any delay, let's get started. But before that, let us see what all the contents are we going to cover within this video. So the first is, what is Agneepath Scheme? The next thing that we are going to discuss is what are the broad objectives of the scheme. The third thing is the advantages of the scheme, and the fourth and the most important thing is that why India on the boil, why is there so much agitation regarding this scheme, and the fifth one is the recent developments that have been made till now, the time that I am making this video. So let us begin. The part 1, as I told you, is about getting into the key features and the details of the Agneepath scheme. So as you can read it on the screen, there I have given some features of the scheme, but let's now discuss. So this Agneepath scheme, what it will do, it will actually entail a recruitment process for individuals with rank below that of officers in the armed forces. Now what is armed forces? Armed forces are the forces that include Army, Navy and Air Force, right? So Agneepath scheme, it would entail a recruitment process for individuals within the armed forces with ranks below that of officers. What is the goal? The goal being deploying fitter, younger troops on the front lines, and this would be for a period of 4 years contracts. Now as you can see on the screen, the individuals who would be the candidates who would be selected within the scheme, they would be called as Agniveers. So this would be a pan India based recruitment process. Now what will happen after 4 years? 25% of the Agniveers will proceed with their journey ahead. The rest 75%, what will they do? We'll discuss in the later half of the video. I hope till now things are making sense. So before going further, let us see some of the basic features of the scheme. Yeah. So here on the screen you see some of the features. Let us discuss them one by one. The first being, when it is a scheme, what is the eligibility? So the eligibility, the age limit for the applicants, it would be from 17.5 to 21 years. However, some recent changes have been made. We'll discuss it in the video later, but as of now, this is the prescribed age limit for the applicants to apply into the armed forces through this scheme. Okay, the next thing is recruitment. So candidates, they will be enrolled under the respective service act for a service duration of 4 years, including the training period. I guess this line is making sense. For a period of 4 years, applicants would be recruited within the scheme, and the recruitment as per the terms and conditions of the scheme would be done. Okay, this I hope is clear. Also, I have not mentioned it here in the PPT, but the training, it would be imparted, rigorous military trainings would be imparted in the existing training centers, and the service, the Agniveers, they would have the opportunity to serve the nation in varied terrains, from mountains to deserts, on land, sea or air. Okay, now the next important thing is the financial package. Now this financial package will consist of several things. The first thing that you see here on the screen is the annual package. Okay, so annual package, now this would be a composite annual package. Like in the first year, the package for the Agniveers would be approximately 4.76 lakhs, and up in the fourth year there would be upgradation up to, the package would increase, upgradation would be there up to 6.92 lakhs. So in the fourth year, till the fourth, by the time the Agniveers reach fourth year, the last year of their training period, and for most of the people, and the rest 25% would, as I told you, would continue, but for the most of the people, the 75% trainees, Agniveers, it would be 6.92 lakhs in the fourth year. Okay, now the next thing is, within this financial package, the allowances. So for risk and hardships, ration, dress, travel allowances as applicable would be provided to the Agniveers. This is quite easy. Yeah. Now important thing is Seva Nidhi, which I have found that many people get confused with. I told you in the starting of the video and while explaining the scheme that 25% of the Agneevees, listen to this carefully, 25% of the Agneevees who were selected, the Agneevees who were recruited as a part of Agneepath scheme after the end of 4 years, 25% will continue their journey further in the armed forces. What about the rest 75%? So, remaining 75% of the Agneevees, they will be demobilized. That is, they will be given an exit or Sevanidhi. What is the exit? How do we call it? It's Sevanidhi. Sevanidhi package that would be of worth of 11.71 lakhs. You will read it, the last line of the Sevanidhi, a corpus of 11.71 lakhs would be provided to the 75% of the Agneevees. It would be exempted from income tax, and this would be provided after 4 years. Also, 30% of monthly salary to be contributed by the individuals. Like while the individuals are working, 30% of their monthly salary they will have to contribute towards the Sevanidhi scheme, and an equal matched amount. Equal amount will be contributed by the government. Okay, I hope this is clear. I can also share one screenshot of how the salary composition is made. I'll just share it after the video ends, that how this 30% is making up, how the government is sharing, how this 11.71 lakh would be there. So it's much explained in the screenshot, but as of now I think that this is clear, that once they are the 75% people who are exiting within their service period, they would be providing 30% of their monthly salary. The same would be provided by the government, and when they exit, they would be given a corpus of approx 11.71 lakhs that would be exempted from income tax, and it would be after the period of 4 years. I hope this is clear to some extent and there is no doubt. The next thing that you see is death compensation. Like while the Agneevees, they are providing service to the nation, what happens in case of death. So the first line that you see is non-contributory life insurance cover of rupees 48 lakhs. What is non-contributory life insurance? Please comment if you know this. What is non-contributory life insurance? While as of now, let me explain this to you. In this non-contributory life insurance, the employer pays the entire policy premium, while the employee, they do not have to pay this premium. So who is the employer in this case? It is the government. So in case of death of Agneevees, a non-contributory life insurance cover of rupees 48 lakhs will be given. Second point is additional ex gratia of rupees 44 lakhs for death attributable to service. Within the service, if you die, an additional ex gratia. Now what is ex gratia? Ex gratia, see, these are the terms that you read it in the newspaper or you hear it from somebody, but you are not aware about the meaning, and you just say it in front of your friends, family, that they would be given this, but have you ever read it in between the lines? That is the key, right? So ex gratia is actually, it's given as a favor or from a sense of moral obligation. Like there is no such legal obligation upon the government or anybody when we use this term ex gratia that you will have to do it. It is given as a favor, as a moral obligation कि ठीक है, मतलब हमको देना चाहिए, moral value होती है ना, उस हिसाब से. So this is how it is given. And ठीक है, तो I told you additional ex gratia of rupees 44 lakhs for death attributable to service. Yeah, and I told you about the Sevanidhi component as well. Okay, the next is disability compensation. So now for the compensation based on the percentage of disability laid down by medical authorities, as per the percentage of disability which would be laid down by the medical authorities, the compensation would be given by the government. One time ex gratia, see again you got the term ex gratia. I hope this time you are understanding the meaning. So one time ex gratia of rupees 44 lakh or 25 lakh or 15 lakh for 100%, 75% or 50% disability respectively. That is, if there is 100% disability, 44 lakhs would be given. If there is 75%, 25 lakhs. If there is 50%, 15 lakhs. Okay, I hope this is clear. And I told you on completion, Seva Nidhi package would be given after 4 years. Also, a skill gained certificate will also be given. Now let us move to the next part, as in what is the broad objective of the scheme. Okay, so see, I have mentioned I have just mentioned the keywords here. We'll understand it one by one. The first keyword that you see is youthful profile. What is youthful profile? See, the government has laid down by the government within the scheme that one of the broad objective of the scheme is they want to enhance the youthful profile of the armed forces, so that if they are enhancing the profile of the individuals of the armed forces, they will be able to fight at their best and at all the times. Also, this would help them to increase their risk taking ability. This is what one of the objective of the scheme has been laid down. The second keyword that you see is to attract young talent. See, most of us, many people have this feeling that they need to do something for the nation, and especially people, they are attracted towards these armed services a lot. So this scheme, they have provided it in the broad objective that the objective of the scheme is also to attract young talent from the society, so that they can effectively adopt and use the emerging modern technologies along with enhanced technical thresholds of intake, while they are taking the privileges of the technical institutions of the country. Okay, because they are providing this technical benefit for ITI holders and all of these things. We'll discuss it in the later part of the video. But yes, so to attract the young talent so that they can effectively adopt and use the emerging technologies. Okay, the next point you see is abilities and qualities. Okay, so as I told you earlier that this scheme, it would provide the youth with abilities and qualities, like how disciplined the armed forces, how dynamism is there in these armed forces. So this discipline, this dynamism, motivation, work skills, this would be provided to the youth of the country. Okay, this is the objective of the scheme that is provided by the government. Also, the youth who are keen to serve the nation, they'll get an opportunity, though for a short period of time, and if they continue their journey further, the 25% will continue for the lifetime, but at least for 4-year period they would be given an opportunity to serve the nation as per the scheme. I am not saying anything from my own, it is the objective of the schemes that have been laid down by the government. So these are some of the broad objectives. Okay, now the third thing, what are the advantages of the scheme? We have been talking about the scheme, and every side has two coins, be it an individual, be it a scheme, be it an object, every side has 2 coins, right? So let us see the advantages, what coin the government has presented, what are the advantages of the scheme. So see, listen, for the advantages, we will be dividing it into 3 broad spectrums. Okay, the first broad heading that would be dividing is what are the advantages with the armed forces. Okay, so actually what the scheme is saying, the scheme has said that this would be a win-win situation for the armed forces also, for the individuals also, and for the nation also. Okay, so let us see for the armed forces what are the advantages. Like, see, the first advantage, I have not mentioned it in the PPT because I want PPT to be very subtle and simple. I hope you are paying attention to what I say. So for the armed forces, the first advantage is improved battle preparedness. Like, see, if you are getting into the scheme, if you are getting in as Agneepath, it would help the armed forces to have a better battle preparedness. This would be how it would be achieved, through transformative education with energetic, diverse, more trainable, resilient youth, right? The second advantage would be selection of the best, because they are providing with rigorous and transparent selection process, so selection of the best candidates would be ensured. a youthful profile, as already said, would be there, and it would also harness benefits of Skill India. How Skill India? It will endeavor to harness the benefits of Skill India, because it would induce, there would be induction from tech institutes. So tech institutes, as I've told you earlier also when we were discussing the broad objective of the schemes, that they would have the young talent would have the opportunity to use the emerging technologies. So this is how they would use the emerging technologies, because benefits of Skill India would be there, because there would be induction from technical institutes as provided by the government. Okay, so these were some of the armed forces. The next is individuals. How are individuals going to benefit from the same? See, I told you, the youth, they would get an opportunity to join the armed forces and serve the nation. They would imbibe military discipline, the motivation, the skill, physical fitness, obviously. Smooth integration into the society with skill sets, certifications and diplomas, higher education, all of this would be provided. So when they would get back into the society, they would get back with all of these skill sets. Good financial package. This is what government has said in their scheme, that they would be given a good financial package, and we discussed that by the end of 4th year, the package would approximately contribute to approximately 6.92 lakhs, right? Yeah. So also, individuals, they would be confident and better citizens because of the military training, the team building, the ethos, emerged over the years, forged over the years, and because resume would be so unique for the Agneeveers that they would definitely stand out of the crowd. Now, how it would help the nation? See, national integration based on unity in diversity. Unity in diversity, one of the fundamentals of how we reach today where we are as nation. So national integration would be there with equal opportunity to youth, including women from all the region, as I told you earlier. Also, nation building would be empowered through disciplined and skilled youth with military ethos in civil society. There would be military people, skilled, disciplined, different characteristics from within the person would come out. And when you are at your best, you not only serve yourself, but you also serve your nation and to the people who are around you and people for your working. So according to the government, this is one of the advantage of the scheme, that it is trying to bring out the best from an individual. Now this best would not only help the individual, as I have highlighted it here in the advantages heading, but also to the armed forces and to the nation. So whenever you are at the best, it's not about the scheme, but I am talking in general. Whenever you are at the best, whenever you are doing something that is at the best, you are not only helping yourself, but you are also helping the people around you and the nation. Okay, so let us move further. This is something very important. This is something that you might be thinking, that when the scheme has so much advantages, I told you about so much advantages, that individual would be at its best, the nation would help in getting national integration and nation building, the armed forces would be ever ready for everything. So why is there so much agitation? Why are these young aspirants of armed forces protesting so much? You can see there are a lot of protests within the nation. There is a lot of fuss within the nation. So why is India on the boil? See, actually, I told you that one thing that I told you in the start of the scheme, and I have been repeating time and again, that 25% of Agneeveers, they would continue their service further after 4 years. What about the rest 75%? The concern is for those rest 75%, and this is where the protests have taken place. People are concerned, the aspirants are concerned that after 4 years period, 25% of the people will go ahead, good for them. What about the 75% people? What if we are not selected? So as you can see here, the protesters point out there is no job security in the scheme, and Agneeveers will not be eligible for pension benefits. This I am not saying it by myself. This I have collected it from several sources, and this is what the protesters have in their mind that there is no job security. This is what they are saying, this is what they think is the issue with the scheme, and that there is no benefit. So they are demanding a rollback of contractualization of jobs, that is the previous process. What was the previous process? For armed forces below the rank of officers, in fact the age limit was also less, and once they are into the service, they will be in their service for the further period. There was no such merit based system before the introduction of the scheme. So people are here, they are the aspirants, I would say, of armed forces. This is the point that they are putting up, that they do not feel that there is job security now within the scheme. So the aspirants say that all their hard work to join the army would go waste, as they can work in the army only for 4 years. This is what they are saying, that only for 4 years, because guarantee is of 25%. What about the 75%? I am not saying anything. This is what the protesters are saying. Okay, the advantages that I have told you is also what the government has laid down, and the protest what are going on is also what the aspirants and the protesters are saying. This is their say on the scheme. So they say that after 4 years, what would they do, how would they work, because it would be only for a period of 4 years. They, among some of the aspirants, they feel that they would be left jobless after 4 years. So this is what they are thinking about the scheme, that this is one of the major disadvantages, that what after 4 years. See what you think, please do comment, please do let me know, where do you stand, what do you think, are these protesters, what the protesters say is right, what the government say is right. The government has made some recent developments, we are going to look at it, but what do you think? Please do comment, please do let me know what is your stand on the scheme, how do you think the scheme is. If you would have been a part of the administration, how would have you thought, or what are you thinking now? Please do let me know, please do let me know in the comment section. Your comments are welcomed. So this is important. What are the recent developments? See, because of the agitation, the government has also come up with few things as the protests are going on. These are young aspirants and they are worried about their future. So government has come up with a few developments within the scheme, and few, they are given something which could help youth understand that no, after 4 years they would be safe, their future would be safe. So let us discuss it one by one. The first point that you see is 10% reservation will be implemented in the Indian coast. Actually, it was an announcement which was made on Saturday, that the government, it is approved, I don't know whether it has approved or not, but yeah, there is a proposal to reserve 10% of the job vacancies in Ministry of Defence for Agneeveers meeting requisite eligible criteria. So this is the first point, this is what has been said. The next thing that you see on the screen is that 10% reservation for Agneeveers in CAPF and Assam Rifles. So Union Home Ministry of Home Affairs, Union Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, it said on Saturday that 10% quota as well as upper age limit relaxation will be given to Agneeveers for recruitment in the Central Armed Forces in Assam Rifles after they complete their 4-year stint. What is a stint? I just told they will complete their 4-year stint. What is a stint? Let me know what do you understand by stint. It will help you improve your vocabulary, and when you go through the newspapers, you will see this word, so you will understand what it means. So just Google it and let me know what is stint means. In this context, please. There can be several meanings of a word, but in this context, what is the meaning of stint? Okay, so yeah, moving further, the next is relaxation of upper age limit for Agneeveers. So Ministry of Home Affairs, it also announced on Saturday that the 3-year age relaxation beyond the prescribed upper age limit for Agneeveers for recruitment in CAPF and Assam Rifles. So this CAPF, what it would include? It would include the Border Security Forces, the Central Reserve Police Force, the Central Industrial Security Force, Indo-Tibetan Police, the Sahastra Seema Bal, National Security Guard, Special Protection Group. So it would now stand at 26 years. I told you upper age limit for Agniveer's relaxation. So for CAPF and Assam Rifles, it would be now stand at 26 years. Hope all of this is making sense. The next point is age relaxation for first Agniveer batch. See, now the first batch of Agniveers, they will have an age relaxation of 5 years beyond the upper age limit of 23, taking it to 28. They would have, because this is the first time, so age relaxation would be there, and it would be taken up to 28 years. Now upper age limit relaxed to 23. See, because we have seen that these 2 years, the last 2 years, there could not be any recruitment possible in the armed forces. It was not possible because of the COVID condition. So for this, recruitment from for the year 2022, as I told you, the age limit is from 17.5 to 21 years, but for this year 2022, it is taken up to 23 years because there was no recruitment possible from past last 2 years because of the COVID, right? Okay, the next is recruitment in merchant navy. So the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, actually I should have asked you, merchant navy, okay, so let it be. Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, on Saturday it announced that 6 service avenues for smooth transition of Agniveers in various roles of merchant navy post their stint with Indian Navy. That is, after this 4-year stint, these Agniveers, they would be provided for the smooth transition, in their this life. As for their smooth transitions, various roles in the merchant navy would be provided to them. Please read the details about it in the newspaper, because a lot of things are given. I have just highlighted the main point. Important thing, what is NIOS? Do let me know in the comment section what do you mean by NIOS. As of now, let me tell it to you. So National Institute of Open Schooling, what it has announced that it will institute a special program in consultation with defense authorities, so that Agniveers who are 10th pass, to further their education and obtain a 12th class pass certificate by developing customized courses. So it is not that once you get into the service you will be called 10th plus. There is an announcement, there is a thought by NIOS that they will provide you 12th pass certificate. Also, Ministry of Education has decided to launch a special 3-year skill-based bachelor's degree program for serving defense personnel that will recognize the skill training received by them during their tenure. Okay, so a degree program Ministry of Education has thought about for providing a 3-year skill-based bachelor's degree program to the Agniveers. Ministry of Skill Development has also thought of skill development jobs and entrepreneurship. So they will work collaboratively with the armed forces to train the students, to train the Agniveers in additional skills, so that they are better suited for the civilian jobs, because this is the concern for the people, that what after 4 years. So these recent developments is a layout of what exactly after 4 years. Also, credit facilities, the government is thinking upon the ways in which banks and financial institutions, they can support Agniveers on completion of their tenures and in various things, right? So you can read about them. I have just explained you the basic guidelines, the basic headings, and once now when you go through these news articles, you will understand, you will have a better understanding of things. I hope I was able to come up to your expectations, fulfill your expectations about the scheme. You have got an in-depth knowledge of what the scheme is about, and now once you read the news, once you understand it with the people, you will have much more understanding. So thank you, that's all for the day. Take care, bye bye.